unstoppable kick-ass confidence. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Raw and Unscripted Show with Christopher Rausch, where we help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. Now please welcome our host, Christopher Rausch.
And please welcome our host, Christopher Rausch. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between? You're all included here on the Raw Unscripted Show. I am Christopher Rausch, and you are here for your next episode of the Raw Unscripted Show. Yours truly, the No Excuses Coach, the place where we help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Tuesday night, 7 p.m. As always, Pacific Standard Time, of course. Here on the West Coast, I'm in Southern California. Thank you, God. We're actually getting a little reprieve from all this amazing heat and humidity that's been going on in the world today. So I was actually just sitting in my backyard, just kind of thinking about the show and enjoying my life and enjoying my moments. Was outside earlier teaching my son how to play baseball, a little softball action. He's 5 years old. That's not frustrating at all. Trying to get a kid to pay attention to what he's supposed to be doing for sports, right? Anybody out there in parent land ever have that experience? So anyways, we appreciate you being here, whether you're live or on the replay. And of course, if you're watching the video cast, always go check out the podcast. We are everywhere where podcasts are sold: Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, all the different places that you would love to get podcasts. You can go find all those on my website. Go to christopherrausch.com/podcast, and you will see all the different areas that you can sign up for them. I try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to capture this. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, if you want, you can always check us out on the video cast. It's always on YouTube, youtube.com/Christopher Rausch. I try to make things easier for you. If you can't remember that, just go to noexcusescoach.com. All my social media is right there. You can click on the little YouTube banner and it'll take you right there. You'll see a playlist for the Raw Unscripted Show. You'll see a playlist for the Unfiltered Experience, which is my Friday night show. You'll see a playlist for my walk and talk videos, which are my short little videos where I just talk directly to you from the heart, raw and unscripted, bringing you guys motivation, inspiration, and education on how you can change your life today. Because I am nothing special. I mean, I am special, but I've been to hell and back. They kicked me out. They were afraid I was going to take over. And all I do is I just sit there and share my journeys with you guys, all my experiences, my ups and my downs, my wings and my wangs, and all those different things that you want to put labels on. And I share those with you based on my experience on how we can all grow together and have a kick-ass life. That's my true intention every single day when I wake up in the morning. Before my eyes open, I say what I'm grateful for. Then I say what my intentions are for the day. And God's honest truth is I woke up today and I said, my intention is to have an amazing conversation with my guest tonight. And before we go any further, we got the amazing Catherine in the house. She says, hi, Chris. What's up, Catherine? Kick-ass Catherine. She quit smoking recently. I helped her get off the smokes, and she's doing fantastically. And she's got the night off of work. So thank you for joining us, Catherine. I appreciate you for being here. And be sure to tell Brenda my appreciation for her as well. She was looking into the workshop, so appreciate that. And just appreciate you guys all being here, whether you're live or on the replay. And as always, if you're here live, ask us questions, myself and my guest. This is an opportunity for you guys to join the conversation. That's why I do the show like this. It's not an interview. It's a conversation between me and my guest. We're sitting at a bar, we're sitting at a coffee shop, and you guys are kind of eavesdropping, going, hey, what are those guys talking about? I want to get in on this conversation, and can I ask them a question? Because I don't know if you've ever been in a public place and you've heard a conversation, you've overheard it. You're not eavesdropping, but you're like, man, I'd love to know what happened to their brother. I'd like to know what happened to this. This is a way of including you in the conversation. So it is a family to have you guys here. Catherine says here, 9 weeks smoke-free, $630 saved. Yes, yes, yes. I am so proud of you, Catherine. I used to be a smoker, and then I quit, and then I smoked again, then I quit, then I smoked again, then I quit, but then I finally quit. So yeah, it's one of the greatest things you can do for your life. I mean, I just had a buddy of mine down in Australia. John sometimes watches the show, and he recently didn't realize how bad the cigarettes were affecting his breathing and had to go into the hospital of all things. He's asthmatic, which is a dumbass. I mean, why the fuck would you smoke if you have asthma? And I told him that straight to his face. But he went to the hospital and found out the little thing you blow into to see how much air capacity you have. He could barely blow 100 when you're supposed to blow 800. He spent 8 days or 4 days in the hospital and wound up coming out of there being able to blow a 600. And he tells me, Chris, he goes, fuck. I goes, I have not felt this good for 3 years. because he had back surgery, and then he came out of that and started picking up the cigarettes again. And he said he didn't realize, because over time we do things to our body, we don't pay attention to things, and it's not like overnight we feel like shit. It's like progressively we feel like shit. I know I'm experiencing this personally. I'm very honest with you guys. I've been back on the pain pills for a while. The Percocets, the 10-3-2-5s, I hate them because they are driving my positivity down the drain. They're weighing me down. I was just talking to our brother Walter McKinley, who's a friend of the show, a dear friend of mine. He's like, dude, you just don't seem the same. And I said, yeah, it's these pills. They just kind of drag me down. So I'm looking to get off of those here in a couple of weeks. I'm going to taper down this time instead of quitting cold turkey like I normally do. But yeah, we're honest here on the show. And then when you start recognizing the things that you're doing to your body and you start taking better care of yourself, it's incredible what clarity and what enthusiasm and what emotion and what passion you can find in your life to continue on and do the things that really matter most. So I'm proud of you, Catherine. I appreciate you for being here and sharing your story with us. And before we get started and have our guests come on here, I just want to, of course, have our little commercial here. For those of you guys listening, I have a banner at the bottom of the screen that says www.helphealhumanity. Helphealhumanity.org is an organization I've been involved with now for a couple of years. I'm on the board of directors for them. The reason I'm on the board of directors is because the amazing Serena Buffalino is such an impactful individual. And we all have nonprofit organizations that we like to support. But I don't know if you're like me and often wonder, like, where does the money really go? Is it going to the CEO of the company who has a $10 million house and has, 17 bathrooms? Or is it actually really going to the cause that I'm donating for? Like for me, I'm passionate about homelessness. I'm passionate about animals. I'm passionate about at-risk kids. And so in Help Heal Humanity, Serena started this organization to help food insecurities with people in her local area of Hamilton, Ontario. And then one day started realizing something that was going on down in the country of Haiti. And this little 5'2", all 100 pounds of her decided to go down to Haiti and build a fucking school in one of the worst areas there. And if you can't have respect for that type of a person, man, I don't know what kind of planet you're living on. So she came to me and she said, I'm going to start a USA board. Would you be willing to be a part of the board? And I said, hell yeah. She's a sister from another mister. So as part of my contribution here, every single week, I ask you guys, if you got $1, if you got $20, you got $100, you got $500, whatever you could do to go support this organization, you're supporting me. So when you get value out of this, I don't say if, when you get value out of this program, I want you to go and do whatever it is that you can to pay it forward, because I'm giving you something that's going to change your life. My guest is going to give you something that's going to change your life. That's invaluable stuff. And the best way you could pay it forward is to go do something out of the generosity of your own heart. Again, I'm not kidding. If it's $5, if 100 people give $5, that gets us closer to sending kids to school. So right now we're raising $100,000 to be able to send these kids to school in one of the roughest neighborhoods of Haiti, and not only send them to school, but try to feed them. The malnourishment and the food insecurity that's going on in Haiti is absolutely mind-blowing. Like when I literally throw food away, I feel absolutely guilty, because I figure, even if it's only scraps, I figure, God, those people there would actually love to have this. And so, I know there's a lot of things going on here in the United States. Here in the United States, we have opportunities, we have answers, we have programs, we have things that we can do to get off our ass and go out there and gain money and get creative about ourselves. But the people in Haiti, they have zero, they have nothing. They're literally living on concrete blocks with their dead relatives underneath them from 2 earthquakes. Right? Think about that. You're living on top of concrete blocks of your dead relatives, and nobody's going to come by and scoop them out and have a proper burial for them. And you're just happy to have a tent or a tarp, that you can call home. It's unfucking believable. So whatever you guys can do to help support us, we're sending the kids to school. We want them to have an education. We want them to have an opportunity in life to be able to go out there and crush it and change the trajectory of what's going on in their country. Give them an opportunity, give them hope, and you guys can do that. And so if you're a part of the Raw Unscripted family, if you're part of the Misfits for Life, as I call you guys, please do whatever you can. And when you do, I don't say if, I say when you guys do, send me a screenshot of wherever it is. Let me pay you back, even though I'm paying you here. Let me pay you back even further, perhaps with some coaching time, just as my way of just rounding that out to say thank you, because all of us together can and will make a difference. I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you. Sometimes I get screen photos of you guys actually doing it. I ask every single time, and I hope that when you're listening to this, that there's some action you can take. If nothing else, go on your social media, share www.helphealhumanity.org, tag me in it. Let me thank you for that, because together we can make a difference. So I appreciate you for honoring me in that commercial there just for a second. And we got Mr. Scott Goyette, my brother from another mother, my co-host for the Friday night show, The Unfiltered Experience. He says, yo, superstar. What's up, Mr. Scott? I'm feeling a little bit better, brother. I don't have a toothache. He's giving me 3 stars here. I don't understand why he doesn't give me 5 stars, little fucker. And Catherine says, I donated to them. So thank you, Catherine. Send me a screenshot of that. I want to take care of you. I want to appreciate you. So without any further ado, tonight on my show, I have somebody that was referred to me by a friend of mine. She said, you got to connect with this guy. He's got an amazing story. He's got a lot of similarities to you. He's very passionate. He's very raw. He's very unscripted. And so I'm looking forward to this. I've done a little bit of research on him. And so without any further ado, we're just going to kick this off and have an awesome conversation tonight with Joshua T. Berglan. What's going on, Joshua? How are you doing tonight, brother? Welcome to the Raw Unscripted Show.
Thank you for inviting me to be here. That's pretty cool of you. Thank you.
No, definitely. I see what you're about. I see you're the world's mayor. So I'm the world's no excuses coach. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I did a little bit of digging, and I just dig your style and your passion with various things that you're working on, and just ready to have a raw and unscripted conversation tonight about what we can do to help other people get out of their own way in their life and kind of be real and honest and raw with themselves to be able to start that healing process. And the first question I have for you tonight, and appreciate you being here as well, I know it's a little bit later on the East Coast. When I think about life right now, and I think about a lot of people in the world today are going through this evolution. They're going through this situation where they're pausing and they're questioning what it is that they're doing, why they're doing it. You know, the last couple of years with the pandemic and everything else that's been going on here in the United States with the political situations and the injustices and everything else. I know me personally, I've gone through different iterations of trying to examine and really understand who I am, what my identity is, what my purpose is here in the world. What have the last 2 years really taught you and spoke to you about your journey?
Life happens for you, not to you.
Amen.
And there's always, so my 2-year period started visiting Minneapolis, and I was there when the riots broke out.
Oh, wow.
And so, COVID starting to creep in. I hope I didn't get flagged your video
for
saying that word. Okay.
No, you're good.
I've had my trouble with social media.
I had my Facebook account canceled, so I'm good.
But I was in Minneapolis when the riots broke out, when George Floyd was killed. And what's now my wife and we went to downtown to feed the protesters and the National Guard. And, I thought I was going back to Los Angeles, and I felt in my spirit I should stay. And, but with that came like a vision, a download of why I was staying, what we would have the opportunity to do. And that's when we created our nonprofit media organization, because we wanted to elevate the voices that have been voiceless. Mm-hmm. Even the voices for the voiceless, we wanted to elevate. And so we had this unique skill set that was really geared and wired towards new media and the future of media, where we're going with the fourth industrial revolution. We just had that skill set to fit into it, but also we love the broadcasting side, and we believe in the future that we will all be our own media organizations, but we'll have to have our own broadcasting platforms also, because this is the engine that drives it. You notice everyone's live streaming. Everyone's got a live stream. Yep. It's essential, but here's the thing. If you don't have a live stream in the new world, you're not going to make it. The president, we've been teaching this for 2 years now, and because it birthed an opportunity. When the world shut down, we said, holy crap, this is more time to create. Yeah. We saw an opportunity. And we also saw a lot of people that had something to say that was getting drowned out, getting censored, being silenced. So we created a censorship-free network that we're giving away to people. We make you take our training, but the training doesn't cost anything. We serve, and all of that is because we know, here's the thing, right now, the media, there's very few that have all the power. Yeah. But in the new world where we're going, the power of the media will be in the hands of many. Media in the future is absolutely 100% going to be just like the internet. Like, it won't be a big deal. To say you're in media will be like, well, no shit, you took a shit today too, didn't you? Right. I mean, it just won't mean anything. And everyone else will be left behind. The president of the United States, if you believe he was really the president, he said in a speech just a week ago that if you don't know these skills, you're going to be left behind. We've been talking about it for 2 years. So what I saw, I forgot what the question is now because I started preaching, because I'm very passionate about this subject, because damn it, we've been saying it for 2 years, and you got to start listening, people. I don't care if you're an attorney, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a teacher, especially if you're a teacher. Holy crap, teachers, you have an opportunity right now to make millions and millions of dollars just on your intellectual property and your love for teaching. You have an opportunity with media. That's what we'll do. And so we're passionate about serving the people that have been voiceless, the people that have been the people that have been discriminated against, the people that have the racists, the bigots, the people that because of redlining have had their lives altered. There's so many very, very big time issues from people, and they don't get the voice. They don't get the platforms. They don't have the money to go pay for your $25,000 media course. Screw you and your courses. Seriously. I mean, you probably have a great course, but I'm talking about these people that are ripping people off. These scam artists that are in the speaking world are the worst. I'm sick of it. They're charging. I know what some of them are charging for media. We have it for free on our website. Don't listen to these clowns. I learned it all. I had no choice. My bad past and the bad shit I did, I'm not hireable. I'm a crazy person, but I'm also.
I saw something in your profile that said you were a shock jock or something like that.
Yeah, I'm an evangelist. I love the Lord, but I'm crazy too, man. I just did an episode today on my talk show. It's called Joshua the World's Mayor. I change all the time because I just feel like I create stuff. I like to change all the time. But Joshua the World's Mayor is the name of the show. You should see the title of it. It's fun. But basically what I did was expose the truth about homosexuality in the Bible and what it really means, what the real word was there and what it meant and what all the other, the language that's in the Bible that has basically caused hatred and murder and abuse and being shunned from society, being shunned from families because of your sexuality, because the Bible said you're an abomination. Bullshit. So I did an episode today, and look, I'm a man of faith. Without Jesus, I am nothing. Without God, I am nothing. I would not be breathing without my relationship with God, but the Bible is corrupted. It's an amazing book, but it is corrupted by man, and they're using the wrong words, and they're hurting a lot of people with it for all the wrong reasons, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. The church is not telling the truth. The church is part of the problem. And so Jessica and I, our whole mission is to break down the walls of the church because the love of Jesus is a real thing. It is an amazing thing, but the way that religion has gone about it is all wrong. It's so screwed up and twisted, and I'm just sick of it. And so I'm one of those people that suffered the pain that I caused other people because of my not knowing, and I was so confused and I was so lost, and I felt all the judgment because I loved Jesus, and even when I didn't love Jesus and I didn't know who he was, I was hurt and I was ashamed and I felt guilty because I was always told that I was an abomination or I was a faggot or I was whatever else. And it's just, and it hurts. And then you make because of the pain, then you lash out like a wounded animal and you hurt people that try to love you. And then you abuse yourself with drugs and sex and everything else, which I did. I mean, I'm not saying you did it. I did it. I did all
I did my fair share of stuff.
And
that's
just
for sure.
Because I needed to, it's like I needed to do this, but I didn't need to do it in that way because I was so desperate to feel who I really am and figure it out. I just abused drugs and I became the worst Chemsex addict for almost 20 years. And I wrecked so many lives and I wrecked my own life. And without Jesus, I would not be breathing right now. But at the same time, I'm here to kick the church in the teeth because of what it's done to people. And I'm sick of it. And the Catholic Church is the beginning of all of it.
Nice. Let's pause. Let's pause right there.
Yeah.
Let's pause right there.
Sorry.
I can see you getting passionate. That's good. That's what we love on the show. We love passion. But my original question is, over the last 2 years, aside from what you were doing there in Minneapolis, what is it that you personally learned and grown through in these last couple of years, with that alone time? Obviously you've created your foundation and your network, but you personally, what are some realizations for yourself and your growth pattern? Because we're going to dig back into your past and kind of get into some of these things, but for yourself, what have you learned most about yourself during these couple of years?
Wow, dude, I've never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, I'm having an opportunity right here live on air to examine that, to explore that with you.
I'm focused on the mission.
Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about Joshua personally. My
faith is, and my faith, I don't work, dude. I told you off air about having DID, and relationships are complicated for me. So I need to really, I set really hard boundaries, and I do it because I don't want to turn into any of the other people. And so what I've learned though is that I can live by faith, and I can still, and without, I serve and only serve. We don't ask for money. We don't charge for what we do. We give our services away. But to live like that and just trust that we're going to be blessed, it takes a lot of faith. And it's scary sometimes not knowing how you're going to pay rent, or how you're going to pay for your network and your foundation and all of that stuff. It's scary, but like, God always provides. So my faith is so strong that I'm crazy enough to look like an insane person to fulfill what I was created to do. And I will do that so unapologetically that I don't care what other people think of me anymore. I don't need to be on social media to do what I was created to do. I don't need to be on other platforms. I built the digital Noah's Ark with my wife, and that's where we're at. The digital Noah's Ark, the Live Mana Network. But you see, it took faith to pursue that, because it makes no sense to give away media services or broadcasting services and just not expect anything in return, just expecting that God's going to provide. Faith would be the answer.
Nice. I love that, Joshua. I appreciate you sharing that with me. And so when I think about like what you're talking about, I think about fears. Like so many people have fears about different situations. Like you talked about fear of being you unapologetically. I'm the no excuses coach. Before I was a suit and tie speaker, I was a people pleaser. I was doing everything for everybody else to get their validation, to get the security and the safety and the comfort of knowing that predictability was, and certainty was a part of my future, that if I did X, Y, and Z, I would get a promotion. I would make more money. I would be secure in my situation, because I was a former homeless 7th grade dropout living on the streets. So for me, it was always about surviving. And then through my journey of learning to love myself and learning to really identify what the fear is and be able to overcome that and be able to change my perspective about things and be able to just be who Christopher Rausch is, the no excuses guy, the rocker, the Harley guy, the guy that just talks, you know.
And you really are a rocker. I saw you walking before the show.
Oh yeah, no, I love music. I mean, it's all real back there. So talk to us about how we can help people, because I know a lot of people are feeling fear right now. They're feeling insecurity about the world and everything else and how it's changing. What are some recommendations you have that you personally went through to be able to reanalyze what fear really means and be able to use that as a positive now as fuel for your passion?
Every question I think you could ask around this kind of category is going to go back to one thing, and that's just be honest.
Yeah.
And be willing to talk about it, like regardless of whatever it is. Being able to talk about it is I swear to you, most of my healing is come from just getting comfortable with the truth.
Love it.
And being willing to walk that out. And even if it's true to me in that moment, and, you know, having switch, sometimes truth changes with my personalities. So, but perception is what it is, right? But
yeah,
like getting comfortable with truth, and even if it changes, that's okay. You can say, hey, I learned something. I gained some wisdom on this, and I had a different experience, and I felt in my spirit like, hey, maybe that wasn't right. But being able to even say that, you know, that to me is important, but also being the kind of person that someone's going to want to listen to you say.
Yeah.
Because expecting people to listen to you when you're bitching and moaning all the time, I'm sorry, that's a little selfish and narcissistic. No one wants to be around that crap. I'm amazed at how many people watch the news.
Oh yeah,
because it's so miserable. But you know what I mean? So everything goes back to truth and being willing to share it and walk in it. That, to me, that will solve everything. And look, the truth is a painful mother trucker, man. It hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts really bad. But you know what? It doesn't only set you free; it sets everybody else free too.
Nice.
Because there's people keeping your secrets. There's people that are lying for you. People protecting you. No, they're not. I feel so bad, man. All the women that I hurt that tried to love me, and I was just a demon. And like, they all love me. Like they really, really tried. And the worst thing I think I ever did to them, and I did some bad stuff, was lie. And lie and lie and lie and lie and lie and lie, and basically break them down and break down their intuition, because that's a woman's greatest gift. Why a man and woman, brother, whatever defines their relationship or marriage or whatever, like a woman's intuition when she's whole is like a superpower from God. It's like having God walk next to you. And so when you're lying to a woman and telling her, no, it wasn't banging, like, whatever, or no, it wasn't, no, you're crazy. Are you kidding me? And then you turn it around on them and say that they were doing it. And then you make them believe all that stuff.
Yep.
That is it's psychological warfare. And whether I knew I was doing it or not, I did it.
So I've got two questions for you. I got two questions for you based on that. Number one, what was the hardest thing that you had to get honest with yourself about? And number two, have you gone back and apologized to those women now that you've kind of had this awareness and this epiphany of how you treated them? So those two questions, like what was the hardest thing to get honest and real with yourself? And then have you gone back and kind of tried to make amends on those relationships?
Well, I gave a bunch of fake sorries or, sorries because I got caught sorries.
Right.
But then when I turned my life around, I gave real sorries and that was good. But one sorry got me a restraining order. So,
oops.
Yeah, I mean, just because I left a letter and, but whatever, it was for the best. I promise it was for the best. And that was like, because I really wanted it was crazy. That'll lead to an hour-long story. But yet, to answer your question, yes. And even in our book that we wrote, there's an apology in there too. There's a message to my kids, and so yeah. What was the second question to that?
What was the most challenging thing to get honest and real about yourself? Because you're talking about truth and facing your truth and not having to lie about anything. Talk to us about that, because I know a lot of people watching this, myself included, I've had moments in my life where I wasn't honest about things. I wasn't honest with myself about my identity and certain aspects of things. But once I got real and raw with myself and was able to face that head on and to go through that healing process, I was able to overcome so much and have so much more love in my life. Talk to us about what was one of the most difficult things you had to get honest with yourself about.
Well, one, that I couldn't do it alone. But that again goes to my relationship with God. But I've all at the same time, because I became the man that I was supposed to be up to a point. Like I've got more growing to do.
Oh yeah, we all.
But I became a man that God blessed me with the opportunity to lead a family again, and have a good relationship, and a loving relationship, and a loving home, and two amazing little girls that love me and I love them. And here recently, so my oldest daughter, who's mad at me right now, has been talking to my one of my twins, and that I gave them up for adoption because I was pretty in a bad place. But they've been talking, and let's put it this way: I'm getting much closer to having prayers answered, getting to reunite with all of my kids.
Oh, beautiful, man! That's awesome.
So anyway, I don't know if I really answered your question. When I speak from the heart, whatever comes out comes out.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, you were talking about different aspects of your identity, like getting real and raw with yourself. Like, what is something that you were denying in your existence and lying for, that you finally said, you know what, this is who I am. I'm going to be honest with myself.
I got it. And this happened today.
Oh wow, holy shit! Real world.
Yeah, no, for real, because I couldn't have answered that question really. Because it would have been too many things, right? But this has been the biggest obstacle in my entire life. And
breaking news,
I gave my life to the Lord, this became an even bigger issue, and it was centered around my sexuality. And while it's a complicated sexuality and it's not very straightforward to want to even label it, but knowing that I could be comfortable being attracted to whatever energy I'm attracted to, and that I can serve the Lord and do what God created me to do, and I can be a good example for others and be that too. Like God still loves me and God still has a plan for me, even though I, may be attracted to multiple different sexes, and that's okay. And then as of today, when I released that episode, I recorded today, but I released it today too. That was me finally having peace. And
man, I don't even know you, but I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I've got friends of mine that are gay that struggle with their identity. I've had friends that were married and heterosexual relationships trying to hide it, and then they came clean, and they've had that stigma back in the back of their mind, like, you know, they've come from a religious background in the family and hearing about that stuff. So hearing your story, I'm definitely going to have them watch this, because that's so powerful. I mean, sometimes we think the good book is like, that's how you're supposed to live life, but the truth and the validity of it is, if God created us all and God loves us all and we're all part of God, then there should be no compartments or stereotypes or labels that define whether God will love you or not. We're all one of the same. We all come from the same pool. And so I'm glad that you shared that. And I'm glad that you had that realization, that you became honest with that, because that's powerful, man. And so,
yeah, sorry it took me so long to answer that question.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you, because, you know, that's what this show is all about. This show is about having raw conversations and getting to the root of things, because so many people are out there struggling. And so by showing that you're a masculine dude, you're a passionate dude, but also that you're open about your sexuality, that allows other people that are watching and listening to this perhaps to say, you know what, I can do it too. If Joshua can do it, if other people can do it, I can do it too. And as we get to a place, this is my goal every single day when I wake up, Joshua, is, it's hard for me not to call you Josh because I have so many friends that are named Josh, is the fact, my intention every single day is to raise the elevation and the vibration of this planet, is to make everybody feel as though they're not excluded, they're not different, that we're all more the same than we are different. And when I'm speaking on stage, I prove this point. I ask people to look around the audience, and I've spoken for 100 people. I've spoken for 8,000 people. I'm like, look around the audience. Just take a look at the different types of people here in the audience today. And people look around. I'm like, you got black, white, short, tall, gay, straight. You got people from different religious backgrounds. You got everybody here in one room. I said, now you may look at people from the exterior and say, oh, that person's different, that person's different, that person's different from me, you know, and some people may sit there and look at it from an egoic place, like I'm better than that, but you split us all down the middle and we're all the same. Nobody could tell us differently. And I've even proven this point to the fact of some people who I know who are racist. I'm like, if you had a blood transfusion, would you take a blood transfusion from a guy who was black? Would you take a blood transfusion from somebody who believed in Allah? Would you take a blood transfusion from somebody who was gay? Do you question that shit? And I've had asked people who I know who have had blood transfusions. I'm like, did you ask the nurses and the doctors where that blood came from? And I'm like, you can't fucking lie. And every single person who's had a blood transfusion has never said, I didn't. I asked where the blood came from. I said, so if you're out there judging people and you're being a racist, you're being a dick, but yet you took their blood, then you got some conflicting shit going on and you need to question yourself. So I love the fact that you brought that up. What's some advice you would have to give to people who have something to tell, but they're so afraid of what their family and their friends might say? They're so much living in fear of judgment and ridicule and everything else. What are some pieces of advice you would have for them to consider to change their perspective about that situation? Because I know it's not easy. I've had to go through that process myself. I've coached a lot of people through situations like that. What are some of your thoughts, man?
Oh man,
my monitor is going out.
Do I know?
I said, sorry, my monitor is going in and out.
Oh,
that's why I'm playing on my ear. There we go.
I mean, everything always goes back to honesty for me. Everything.
But how do we get over that fear of like, oh, if I come out and tell my parents this, that I'm afraid of what they're going to say about me. I'm afraid they're going to disown me. I'm afraid they're not going to love me as much.
Okay, so I'll answer the question this way. I have a lot of things I did in the shadows that, for me, it would have been one of these things. Like, I used to get in the way. I had multiple opportunities to kind of make it a little bit bigger, going the entertainment route when I was in LA. I had amazing opportunities that I had to walk away from. I'm giving you dead air.
No, you're good. You're thinking. It's all good. And I know you're a broadcaster because you know about dead air, but it's totally fine in this situation because you're actually thinking of the genuine answer that you want to come up with.
Well, I know. I don't even know why I'm kind of just stumped. Not stumped, just like at a loss.
Like for me, why you think about that, like some of my aspects when I think about that, when people say, Chris, but I'm afraid of this and I'm afraid of that. Ultimately, I sit there and I think about it and I ask them, like, what is your ultimate legacy? Is your ultimate legacy, do you wake up with the intention of living in fear every single day? Or do you wake up with the intention of being truly who you are unapologetically and not worrying about those opinions and those judgments? Because ultimately, when we get to the end of our game, and I've read this book, it's called The Five Regrets of the Dying. And that hospice nurse that sits with all these people who are dying, the number one regret that all of these people had is that they lived the life that they thought they were supposed to, and they didn't live the life they wanted to. And so I'm big about no regrets. If you follow my social media, you always see a hashtag no regrets. So for that, I asked them, like, what would it feel like if you no longer held yourself back in fear of what other people thought of you? Like for me, I did that as well. And once I got clear and clean about my legacy and that I'm not going to worry about those individuals and wish them well, it was such a relief. It was such a burden for me to let go of, that I didn't have to win anybody's validation, that just me being who I am is good enough. And if it's not good enough for somebody else, that's okay for them. I don't need their validation. I don't need their approval for me to continue on. So that's kind of like my thoughts on what I would tell somebody who's living in fear of what somebody might judge them by.
I was about to go and tell us like this. I was going to preface it, and then I got to thinking that I was about to say something that I could get somebody in trouble. So
gotcha.
That's why I stopped, because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus.
Yeah.
But the life that I lived, I had a bunch of secrets, and the biggest thing that I had was like people finding out, of course. And what I've learned over the years is this. When other people share your tickets, I used to get like emails from people like basically kind of wanting to blackmail me for some of the stuff, but I never knew who they were. And so I was constantly in fear that I was going to get caught. And so when I had a really bad relapse, I won't go into that story now, but one of the things that was put in my spirit to do was to put a spotlight on my shadow world to show people the supernatural power of truth. But the example that was given to me was, do you want to make it big and then be writing $15 million checks to hush people up, like hush money, like Charlie Sheen?
Mm.
Or do you want to build your empire on a foundation of truth? It's going to take you longer, but do you want to build it on truth? And I took that for me as this. All that's hidden is going to be exposed. And when someone else is the one exposing you, well, they can weaponize it however they want.
Yes.
But when you tell the truth, you take the bullets away. What are people going to say? They're going to say, oh, okay, what? I mean, they'll say stuff, but it won't last long. And so I really believe that encouraging people, that I like to say things like God doesn't bless lies. And you know, I believe in the supernatural power of truth. In fact, even other religions, and even some of the more noetic science style religions, they believe like that truth ultimately is the path to salvation. The truth is the way to freedom, the fifth dimension. It's like you truth your way out.
Yeah.
And so instead of trying to install fear of like, hey, you're going to get exposed anyway, because most people won't believe that, but trying to encourage people that if you want to be blessed in all areas of your life, just get honest. And I believe that is an absolute attitude shifter, because I don't believe that at this point people are afraid of effing everything. So using more fear ain't going to do it. But trying to go, hey, there's something really amazing over here. You can live the life of your dreams, but it starts with truth, and encouraging that way. And I think that's a more positive seed to plant that eventually will produce a harvest in some way.
I love that. I love that. And what you're talking about, Josh, was when I think about the overall conversation we're having so far is identity. Like we get so caught up, and I think about the conditioning process that we go through from study shows, child psychology shows that our identity is based on who we are from the age of 0 to 5. Like all the inputs and the things we get from our parents and our caretakers and all of our experiences kind of establish our beliefs, and our beliefs establish our attitudes, and our attitudes establish our actions. And then it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy based on what we believe to be true. And then we go through our life thinking, I am this person. Like for me, my mom told me I was stupid all the time. I was a piece of shit. And so I grew up thinking I was stupid up until the point I was, like I told you before, I was a 7th grade dropout. When somebody told me at 18 years old, Chris, why don't you go back to school? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? There's no way I can go back to school. I was stupid. I'm glad I got out of school. I'm glad I was homeless because I was doing poorly in school because I told I was stupid. I had to rewrite that script. I had to change my view of my identity, and I had to rewrite my position about what people thought of me. And the way I did it, Joshua, and I'm going to ask you this question here in a second, is I had to sit there and think, okay, might I have been like them had they gone through those experiences that they went through? Or might I be like them if I gone through the experiences they went through? It's like, and for example, my mom treated me poorly. She did the best she could with what she had. I'm writing the book about it right now. But she kept telling me she's 4 years old. My mom, you're a fucking grown ass adult. Start acting like it. Will you just grow the fuck up and like behave like it? And here I was, 17 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old, still trying to tell her this. And I thought, you know what? Instead of me trying to assert my opinion and my advice, let me just take a step back. And Stephen Covey talks about in this book, seek first to understand, then to be understood. I'm like, if I had gone through all the experiences that she had been through, might I be like her? And as much as I didn't want to say yes, I did. I thought, okay, what happened to her when she was 4 years old? Her parents got divorced. Okay, then she went to go live with her mom permanently. Her mom was more batshit crazy than my mom was. And so that's where she got a lot of her conditioning, her psychology was from that. And so I started having empathy and compassion for her, and I was able to forgive her for many of the things that she did, and then started realizing, like you said at the start of the show, life happens for us and not to us. And so I was able to have that empathy and compassion. I was able to adjust my identity. What are some tips and advice you have, and maybe a particular story in your life where you had to shift your perspective about your identity? Because so many people are struggling with that. And for us, you and I, we've got to that point where we're clear on who we are. Obviously, it's an ongoing evolution. Well, talk to me about some of your thoughts about what I just shared. Excuse me.
Dang, dude, you ask the most broad but specific questions.
Thank you.
Like it's a mind scramble. I love it. I want to. Okay, so that is a. Okay, I want you to ask me that question one more time.
Yeah, because just more about identity.
My brain twisted some of it, and I want to hear it again.
Yeah, no worries. Like, talk to us about identity. Talk to us about maybe, how we can formulate our identity, reformulate our identity. Maybe tell us about a time in your life where you thought you were a certain way, and then you had to reformulate that identity, and perhaps maybe from what the people in your life conditioned you to believe.
Okay, so that's why that question for me, when you say identity, I get lost in, well, which identity am I today?
True, because we're talking about DID and explain that to folks.
Yeah, like that's why I'm getting stumped, because it's like, well, if I'm being honest with you, I just came out of a switch. Like so the broadcast I released today, then there's one right in front of it that led to this one, but then there's 3 others before it where I'm in just a completely different space, and I'm breaking through it, and then I'm like, for me, as I'm going through this healing journey with DID, my switches to alters, like the alters, it's a soul fragment is what it is, from really bad trauma, like repeated trauma over and over and over again as when I was young. So these soul fragments. So I'm just now getting to where they're coming back together, and I'm starting to recognize who I am. And it's been this amazing journey. And I mean, again, without Jessica, there's no way I would be where I'm at today.
Yeah, Jessica.
But there's still, again, sometimes I stay in the basement because I'm not myself. And so, but early on, when it was really, really bad, when I was switching, and what the book The Devil Inside Me is about is the demons that I became. Some of it gets so bad that you're so detached from reality that you could watch somebody that you love be brutalized. You could watch them be beheaded, and there would be nothing there. But then there's other things where it's just, there's a very playful, joyful, like almost childlike joy in one of the altars, where mine are more pronounced originally, where I could tell which altar I was based on sexual interest, and because it was more than one thing. Like each one had different, very specific, compartmentalized processes, taste, ways of doing things, and it was all different. but that's how it was, almost like how I identified. But what I was able to trace back when I started healing was that those alters were born at very specific trauma points in my life of certain instances that happened, that those fragments became what they were. And but let me tell you this, there's a lot of people that could see Joshua like the person that I was created to be, that got blinded by that light, so much so that they couldn't see the monsters that were hiding. And
Wow.
I hurt a lot of really good people, and I hurt some people that weren't so good, but I hurt people that, and I acted in ways that I can't take back. And so I've made it a mission that, like, every day that I try to, you know, as I'm developing my relationship with the Lord and trying to become a better man, you know, like I'm driven to be better so that I can look. So I said I did this much bad, so now I'd like to do that much good,
Right.
and impact way more people all over the world for all the right reasons. And it's what fuels my desire to serve now. But I haven't forgotten about the people I've hurt. And, you know, I don't know how many times you can say you're sorry. I don't live with any guilt anymore, because I know what was going on, and I know I have to move on at some point, right?
Right.
And try to just make the next right decision. My goals in life are to be able to show that somebody with DID and multiple personalities can thrive in this world, that can make a positive impact. Because when you read about DID, it literally makes it sound like you're a fucking demon. Pardon my French, but it makes you sound like a demon, and you're a crazy person, and you need to be locked away. And you know what? There's times that I definitely feel like I should be locked in a loony bin. There's absolutely those times.
I can't even imagine. It's gonna be horrible.
But like I thrive in life, and especially after the life that I lived. And so I mean, obviously I keep bringing up God, but it's true. I tried all the other ways and it didn't work. And so like it was everything for me. And I mean, because of that, like now I have people in my life that love me, and I know they love me. Like leaving social media, I mean, I mean, to be honest with you, like it affected me. Like it caused me to switch. Sometimes like it would depress me. Sometimes it would, I would start comparing myself to other people, like I have no business comparing myself to, and I got caught up in that, and then and it was like feeding me that dopamine of joy, and like thinking I had friendships, and that maybe I didn't. I don't know. But what I learned after getting off of social media is that I have real friends, and then I've developed like now because I'm not staring at my phone while I'm at the gym nonstop. Now I'm like where I can see people, and now I've actually made real friends, and like in real life, and doing real business and real projects and real things, and not that pretend social media bullcrap that goes on.
Yeah.
And I'm not wanting to kill myself either, and I'm not. Oh, and I'm also not worried about censorship either, because I have my own network. I can say whatever I want.
Right.
And yeah, so like, here's the thing. DID sucks, but it's also a gift. Like I see the world through a lens that no one can even imagine. And so I have really wild views about some things, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, because it's taught me so much. And it's also, now that I'm learning how to have empathy. It's new, but my daughters, they're so amazing. Like, they broke my heart, and I knew that when they broke my heart, I knew I could love, and then like, and it's gotten so much better. And so now, like, I'm able to love people, and people actually love me, and I get to feel their love. And like, for someone with DID, that's not common. So God is good from that standpoint, and I don't want to screw it up because I'm capable of doing it, because I've screwed up a lot. And I've hurt, but like I'm driven to do the right thing, and I'm driven to show all other people with DID, because there's a lot of people that are misdiagnosed that think they have like bipolar disorder, but they really have DID. And by the way, that bipolar medication is going to make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm telling you, if I can be there for anyone that has BPD, bipolar disorder, serious depression, or DID, if I can be there for you, pray for you, talk to you, show you what's worked for me, I'm happy to be there for you.
Love it.
Because you can thrive. You have to protect yourself, and yes, you have to set boundaries, but you can do it. You can do it, and you can have a happy life, a happy wife, a happy family. You can have all the things that they say that you can't have. Fuck them. Pardon me, but fuck them.
You're good.
You can get your dreams can come true, even if you're borderline crazy.
I love it. I love it, man. I told you this conversation was going to go by quick. It's already been 50 minutes. We go for about an hour. Yeah, we've been, I mean, it's just a crazy jam session, man. I want to capture some of these comments, and I got a couple more questions before we head out of the broadcast. We've got some amazing souls up in here. We've got my brother from another mother. We got Robert Broker in the house.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah, he says, sorry I'm late, Christopher and Joshua. I knew this one would be hot like fire. Absolutely.
I love Robert.
Robert says, yeah, he's always following the shows. He's always here supporting. Joshua, this makes you 100% grade A entrepreneur. Welcome. Glad you're here. We got Christopher Kaysen in the house. My brother got to meet Christopher in Chicago earlier this year. We were both at the Power We Symposium. Thank you for being here. Got lots of comments from Robert. He's always very verbose. Catherine Young says, my very best friend is gay, and I love him so much.
Wait, we should clarify this. I'm not gay, by the way. I like whatever, man. Like, it's energy for me.
I love all.
You want to clarify that?
Yeah, Robert says, when you tell the truth, you take back all your power. 100%. We got Nellie in the house. Nellie from Hooked on Humanity says, you're right, Chris. There is a freedom in just knowing and deciding that my truth is worth living, and knowing I'm going to go in the direction I'm supposed to go, as opposed to being who people want me to be, which is usually a person that's not as great as the person I truly am. And Nellie, you are a beautiful person. So thank you for being here. Christopher also goes on to say here, whether it's a gift or a curse, entirely based on perspective. Yes, it truly is about perspective. Robert says, Joshua, you are truly the world's mayor.
I love you.
We got Tim Gillette in the house. Tim Gillette, I've known for a number of years. He says, hey, Chris, just stopping by to say hi. What's up, Tim? Happy birthday, brother. I didn't get a chance to wish you happy birthday. I'm rebuilding my Facebook community. I had 5,000 people on my Facebook community, and then they deleted it, and so I'm rebuilding it. So Tim was one of the people I just got recently back in touch with. And yeah, man, just a powerful conversation. Nellie says here, you are so right. Some people have bad habits of polyphasing disorder in the other people's lives. 100%. So Robert, we got a few minutes left. We got a few minutes left. I want you to kind of plug you said you wanted to get something across about your network. I want to talk about that, and then where people can get a hold of you to continue the conversation with you, man.
Well, first of all, super grateful for the opportunity. Thank you. And
most welcome.
In the very beginning, so if you're just now joining, go watch the beginning, because I said all that already. I wasn't intending to do it then, but you can check out livemana.worldwide.org. That's LIVEMANA worldwide.org. Also check out the Live Mana network. So whether you have Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, or even the App Store, whether iPhone or Play Store, download the app, check it out, check out our content. And if you're interested and if you need media services, you need one, like, just hit me up. Like, there's a contact form. You can book yourself. You can book time yourself on our website. There's a 30-minute chat. We can talk, and happy to help, happy to serve. Anything we can help with media or broadcasting, we're here to serve. Absolutely. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you can check out the Devil Inside Me book.
You got your other website, Joshua T. Berglan?
It's not on that site. It's on Amazon. That's just a landing page thing for SEO purposes.
And then we got you on twitter.com.
Nope, kicked off Twitter, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one I had from your thing. Okay, kicked off Twitter. But
I got kicked off since I filled that out.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm not on any social media anymore. I'm not on Facebook. I'm off everything. All our content we distribute through main media like Google News, Medium. We have a newsletter. But we are not on social media at all. My wife's off of it as well. I should say this with my last minute here. social media is about the change. So if you're investing all of your business and your planned success on social media, please go take the course that's on my website and learn quickly. Because if you're betting on social media to be what it is for you now,
it's all changing.
It's about to change big time, and it's actually happening way faster than people think. To give you an idea, most new apps, they are making you upload your face already. So it's here. The surveillance, I mean, like it's happening quick. It's going to be sneaky, but you need to learn media quickly if you do not want to have the robots take your job. Take the free training. It's worth it. I promise.
Joshua, I appreciate you, brother. Your candidness, your rawness, your vulnerability here tonight. I knew this time was going to fly by. I'm definitely going to have you back on the show. There's so many different more areas that we can discuss and explore. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to put you backstage. Don't go anywhere. And then I'm coming
on my show next.
I definitely will. And I'm going to finish out the show, but don't go anywhere. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and everybody in between. What a crazy, amazing show. And I say crazy in a good way. Hooked on Humanity. Nelly saying, correction, you are so right. And, I try to be right every once in a while. A broke clock is right twice a day, right? Yes, absolutely. So, from this discussion tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I really want you to take a couple of things away. Number one, Joshua said, truth. Get honest, get real with yourself. I know for me and my personal explorations and everything else, whether it was my almost bout with alcoholism, drug abuse, things of that nature, pretending to be somebody I wasn't in order, imposter syndrome, things of that nature. When I started getting real and honest with myself about why I was doing certain things and then what I was running away from, that's when clarity, that's when compassion, that's when empathy for myself started happening and forgiveness started happening for myself, and recognizing that the conditions in which I grew up in, not knowing my biological father, having my mother with various psychological disorders, having a half sister, in that situation, all the different things with abandonment in my life. When I started getting real with myself in my mid-20s and my early 30s, it's crazy the healing that started happening. And I didn't do it by myself. Joshua was talking about that. We can't do it alone. I went out and sought therapy. I was on medications. I tried all the different routes. Now I'm looking at plant-based medicines to see what else that I can do and uncover from doing ayahuasca or doing, microdosing mushrooms and things of that nature, whatever else I can do to continue my healing journey. But that starts with that honesty. That starts with that rawness. That starts with that vulnerability. And Joshua did a great job tonight in saying, hey, listen, here's some of the things that I've had to go through in exploring my sexual identity and the things that I'm interested in. And that we're all human. We're all human. We're all souls here having this human experience. And his vulnerability tonight should be an indication for yourself to start looking within yourself. What is it that you've been lying to yourself about? What is it that you've been holding back within inside of yourself that is tarnishing the true beauty of the essence of who it is that you are? That's why I do this show, the Raw Unscripted Show. That's why I'm the No Excuses Coach. That's why I show up with my bandana and my hat. It's not a branding thing. I don't like sweating, so I've been wearing a bandana for decades. People thought it was because I was a metalhead. Nope, I just don't like sweating. And I'm not going to wear the little tennis band because that didn't make me look very good. So I'm a biker, I'm a rocker, so I've been wearing a headband. I wore my hat on backwards even when I had hair. So I'm just being me. I'm just showing up being authentically me. And people sit there and say, oh, Chris, you're so this, you're so this, you're so that. And I appreciate all the accolades and I appreciate all the compliments. But at the end of the day, I'm just being me. And that's all I want for each and every one of you is to be who you are. Rock your freak flag. And I don't mean that necessarily in a sexual context. Just be who you are unapologetically. And if people don't like it, if people want to judge you and people tell you that you should change, wish them well. And not in a mad way, not in any type of way, but wish them well, because studies show you're like the 5 people you spend your time around the most. And if you're spending your time around people who do not support you and do not promote you and do not ask you those tough questions and who are honest with you and don't want you to go out there and take risks and challenges and to live your life, you need to wish them well. Because for me, I have a band of gypsies in my life who are amazing, who are truly, truly amazing, that I could call and sit there and say, I'm having these feelings where I'm feeling inadequate. My self-confidence is down, and I'm the confidence coach. I'm the guy that's the no excuses coach. But I myself have those situations, but I have a team of people who are around me, my coaches, my mentors, my friends, my brothers and my sisters. You guys know who you are. It's amazing what it is that we can accomplish in our life when we support ourselves with those awesome individuals. And I'm constantly meeting new people every single day. And that's what this life is about. This life is about going out there and flying that and going out there and jumping. If you guys never seen the video Jump by Steve Harvey, it's a minute and 52 seconds. Dollar for dollar, pound for pound, time for time. That minute and 52 seconds changed my life. because Steve Harvey talks about the fact that we sit there and compare ourselves to everybody else. Oh, that person's doing this person's doing this. They seem so happy, but they jumped. And Steve talks about when you jump, your parachute's not going to open. You're going to fall. Back's going to get scraped up. Things are going to happen that are going to test your will, but eventually your parachute will open. But if you don't jump, your parachute will never open. And you will get to that end of your journey and you will sit there and look back on your life. And like it says in the 5 regrets of the dying, you will regret the fact that you didn't take those risks, that you didn't live a life that was exciting, that you didn't wake up every single day and see, how can I get out of my comfort zone? Your comfort zone is bullshit. That is old reptilian brain that's trying to keep you safe. Just imagine what life would be like if every single week you sat there and chose, what's one thing I could do this week that will get me out of my comfort zone and expand my confidence and expand my ability, my understanding to know that whatever happens, I'm going to survive. And get this, ladies and gentlemen, you're not only going to survive, you're going to learn shit. And as you learn shit, think about that 52 weeks. I'm not asking you to do something every single day. 52 weeks of doing something outside of your comfort zone. Just imagine, just picture, just envision how different of a person you would be in a year. You could start that today. You could start that today. You can sit there and say, I'm going to do something every single week that gets me out of my comfort zone. I'm going to jump. I'm going to go live life. I'm going to go take those risks. I'm going to go take those opportunities. I'm not going to play it safe. I'm not going to be, as I call it, comfortably miserable. That's the people I coach these days. They're comfortably miserable. They're just playing it safe. So ask yourself, hey, Chris, when did it become okay to be mediocre? Hey, Chris, when did it become okay to be complacent? Hey, Chris, when did it become okay to procrastinate on shit that you know that you want to do, but you're just scared of what the outcomes might be? Go live your life, ladies and gentlemen. You get one life to live. You get one life to live. I'm not talking about the soap opera. You get an opportunity every single day to rewrite your story, to change your perspectives, to surround yourself with amazing, beautiful people like Joshua, and to really examine and challenge your beliefs. Challenge those beliefs, challenge those fears, challenge those conspiracy theories, challenge anything in your life and ask yourself, does this serve me? Yes or no? There's no maybe. If it doesn't serve you, then say, what are the first 3 things I can do to get myself out of the situation and start living the life that I deserve? You are worthy. I don't care what you've done, where you've been, who you've wronged, anything else. You apologize it. You apologize for it. And Randy Pausch in the book, the last lecture, says the apology consists of 3 things. It's my fault. I'm sorry. It was my fault. What can I do to make it better? So those 3 things are a part of an apology. Apologize to yourself. Give yourself grace and freedom to say, hey, I didn't know what I didn't know, but now I know. So let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Do you learn from your mistakes? You better be raising your hand and say, yes, I learned from my mistakes, Chris. Okay, go make more of them. Go make more of them because they're not mistakes. They're learning opportunities. And as you take those learning opportunities, as you jump, as you get comfortable being uncomfortable, your mind expands. The opportunities expand. You're no longer wondering about shit. You're no longer procrastinating. You're no longer playing the someday game. Oh, someday when this is right and this is that and this is that, then I will go live my life. You show me someday on a calendar. Show me someday on a calendar, ladies and gentlemen. You can't. The someday is today. People are dying like that. I know people we all do. Do you want to sit there and end up in your last moments and go, wow, I'm glad I played it safe. I'm glad I was so afraid of this, that, and the other thing. Go live your life today. Go surround yourself with beautiful people. Invest in yourself. Take those risks. Take those challenges. Continue to tune in here on the Raw Unscripted Show. Let us know what I can do to support you. Go to noexcusescoach.com. Check it out. We got lots of things happening and going on. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys. Just want to go in here. Oh, we got Sean in the house. What's up, Sean? Sean is a new friend I made today on the Owl app. He's tuning into to the show through LinkedIn. So thank you for being here, brother. Go back and check out the beginning of the show. It's a phenomenal show. It's a great conversation. Sean and I had a great conversation today talking about, people you surround yourself with. I can see us doing definite things in the world to make it a better place. A lot of different similarities and symbologies. Whatever the fuck that word is. Thomas Neese in the house. Fritz Fritz for life. What's up, brother? He says, thank you for being you, brother. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to let you guys go. Go out there and have a brilliant evening. Go out there, rock your freak flag. And most of all, go be grateful. Be grateful for every single thing in your life, every person in your life. Be grateful. Show up with gratitude. Show up to serve. Show up to live a kick-ass life. And I promise you, things will turn around. Things will be in your favor. Together, we can make this world a better place for who we are and what we do. That's my intention every single day when I wake up in the morning. I say what I'm grateful for, and I set my intentions to make this world a better place. Because at the end of the day, my eulogy is already written, and it says the component of it is this: Christopher Rausch will have fought for what was right and what was fair. He will have risked for which that mattered, and he will have left the earth a better place for who he was and what he did. Go write your eulogy. I love you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're just tuning in right now, go catch the first part of it. It's an amazing conversation. And you know, I don't always say that, but it's true. Go out there and be brilliant. Check the button.